How's it going, everybody? Today I am watching some more World of Remnants as well. This is I got Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo. So the four main towns with the towers. I'd like to learn some more about those. Just learn more about the world. So let's all watch these together. How do you? I'm done with that voice. But anyway, I'm gonna hit play on this one's about Vale. So let's jump into it.
Well, school's definitely out.
Oh, it's by Crow.
Can't all learn a little something.
I love Crow, to be honest.
Welcome to the world of Remnant. Not the best place to live, but depending on where you're staying, it can get a little easier. You've got towns and villages that pop up as fast as they fall. The faunas have menagerie, but the sweet spots are Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo.
Oh, so they're like
The four
continents,
kingdoms of the
pretty
modern
much.
era. Each one's special in its own little way. Let's talk about Vale. In the grand scheme of things, Vale's pretty well guarded. It rests on the northeastern end of the world's largest continent, Sanus.
Oh,
Like
so
most
okay.
successful kingdoms, Vale's survival over the years can mostly be attributed to prime real estate. Its front is protected by steep mountains, and its back is against waters too shallow for any real threat to pop out of. Not to say I haven't heard some crazy fish stories.
Not to
Aside
say.
from the main city, which the kingdom's named after, the Vale territory also extends to several neighboring cities farther along the northwest coastline, as well as a small island named Patch. Nice place to raise a family, if you're into that sort of thing. Of course, all attempts to extend the kingdom's reach past the mountains and farther into the mainland have been colossal failures.
Unfortunately.
But, like I said, in the grand scheme of things, Vale ain't half bad. Regular climate, natural barriers, and some serious border defenses means the citizens of Vale can spend less time worrying about survival and more time just living their lives. Of course, with the fall of Beacon, everyone's a little more worried.
Yeah,
these days.
exactly. What does that say for Vale? You know what I
They
mean?
should be.
Damn right they should be. Okay. Got a little bit of info about Vale. One of these, I was wondering if it's got that, if it's gonna have like crystals in it, because I know that Cortana. I'm gonna call her Cortana till I know her name. She's voiced by Cortana, the villain. She was around all those crystals. And I mean, that could be anywhere, but it had the same moon, so they're on the same planet. That's about all the info I got. But anyway, this one's Mistral. Gotta turn all these up myself. You know what, man? Too stressful. Just kidding.
Right. Where were we? The
I'll
eastern
drink to that.
Sanus is Remnant's second largest landmass, Anima.
Water.
That's where you'll find the kingdom of Mistral. Of the four kingdoms, Mistral has the most controlled territory, meaning you'll find a wider variety of ecosystems and lifestyles. Trust me, this place is something for everyone, for better or worse. The high society folks of Mistral are known worldwide for their contributions to fashion, architecture, theater.
Oh, so
all the
they're more
things that make
cultural.
the world pretty and tolerable.
Okay.
But its lower class has got a fame of its own. Mistral's home to the biggest black market on the planet.
Oh, damn.
Got something that's hard to find, got someone that's hard to kill. They can help, provided you've got to the end to pay for it. There's one common thread that links all these people together, though, and that's their respect for nature, particularly the sea and the sky. The natural resources and geography of the area impacted Mistral's culture and technology in a big way. Its first settlers found shelter high up in the wind-carved cliffs, and as their population grew, so did their ability to utilize the land to its fullest potential.
Okay.
Real bunch of forward thinkers. Of course, the bigger the kingdom, the harder it is to govern.
And there's just
The reason
flaws with
traders and
everything.
thieves flock to Mistral. The main city's right under the council's eye, sure, but Places like Windpath, Kuchinashi start to get a little farther out of sight.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places to hide in Mistral.
Okay, so okay, I get what's going on.
That's why
with
you
Mistral.
gotta know where to look.
So Mistral's where you go when you need that good. No, just kidding. Mistral sounds kind of cool, honestly. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna I'll cover all these after. Yeah, we went over Vale and Mistral, and now we got Atlas. I thought the first, never mind. Atlas Escaded. This is where,
Talked about the...
Whoops. Winter's family's from, right? And Weiss.
It's time we talked about the fine people at the top of the world. Atlas is Remnants' youngest and arguably most successful kingdom, but it's a bit of a special case. See, before the Great War, there was no Atlas. There was Mantle. At some point in time, a group of settlers were crazy enough to venture out into the northernmost continent of Solitas. I guess when you're that desperate, a frozen hunk of rock doesn't seem like such a bad place to call home. As a matter of fact, the harsh weather conditions proved to be just as useful as the mountain ranges when it came to keeping the creatures of Grim at bay.
Yeah,
Also kept
talk
the
about
people
that.
of Mantle from flourishing. Humanity's got a neat trick up its sleeve, though. Whenever we're faced with a problem, our inclination is to find a solution. The cold climate of Solitas forced its
Oh,
settlers to
so they
adapt.
dug down and then they found all the
More advanced technology,
dust and
and
stuff.
they did it faster than the rest of the world because they had to survive.
Okay.
It was the Great War that really kicked things off. New forms of dust application and weaponry allowed Mantle to expand. More and more territory was set aside for dust mining and research. The territory beside the kingdom's combat school, Alcius, was the most opportune area to construct a new R&D facility. But by the time things were all said and done, it would be much
more.
Alcius was reopened as Atlas after the Great War to house many of the warriors now seeking guidance. In an effort to give back to the citizens, Mantle applied all sorts of new dust techniques and technologies it had used in the war to beef up the Academy's campus. The school grounds expanded faster than they could have imagined.
The place she was at
They
wasn't
even
icy
helped to
looking
better
though.
secure the surrounding areas. It wasn't long before the kingdom's military moved in, then the labs and research facilities, and eventually even residential areas started popping up.
So that's Ironwood
In
right there?
time, it became apparent that the city of Mantle was
Or
living in
Weiss's
Atlas'
father.
shadow. So the decision was made to move the kingdom's capital. Mantle was old news, and the kingdom of Atlas was born.
Oh.
A golden age of prosperity, they called it. But those left behind in Mantle would probably tell you that it was the coldest winter.
Oh, so they kind of just ditched a bunch of people and like a bunch of like area for the better of them, for like their own better kind of deal. I keep reading the subtitles because I'm used to watching anime in Japanese or whichever language they use. So I'm reading every subtitle as we go. I'm sorry. It's just a dead habit I got, and it's never gonna kick. Watched all Naruto and Hunter x Hunter in Japanese. I mean, it just usually sounds better, but the dub in this is so totally good.
Now, if there's one kingdom that's had it harder than the people of Mantle, it's Vacuo, the last of the four great kingdoms. The western end of Sanus is a barren and desolate wasteland. Long ago, before man went and ruined everything, it was a paradise. In the center of the vast desert was an oasis unlike anything you'd ever seen. A jungle bursting with natural resources, geographical defenses, and the world's largest recorded deposit of dust. No
This is where
mountains,
Cortana is calling it right now, Vacuo.
Scorching sand settled down in this little hidden gem, and over time the kingdom of Vacuo thrived. Unfortunately, comfort breeds weakness. While the rest of Remnant had to learn and adapt in order to survive, Vacuo's ancient society kicked back and lived a life of complacency.
Yeah, that's when you fall behind.
More developed kingdoms set their eyes on everything Vacuo had to offer. its citizens couldn't do anything to stop them.
Yeah,
from
spears
taking
and
it.
arrows against guns. Yeah, exactly. You get
Years
too
of human
complacent.
conflict, unrestricted mining, and ecological disasters have changed Vacuo. The paradise that was once there is practically indistinguishable from the surrounding deserts.
It's unfortunate.
Citizens live in makeshift homes, uprooting and traveling frequently in response to the fleeting resources and occasional attacks from the creatures of Grimm. After the Great War, a formal government was finally established. But by that point, the folks living in Vacuo didn't much care to uphold its laws, making Shade Academy the only real source of order in the kingdom. But order isn't everything. Vacuo may not be as prim and proper as the other three kingdoms, but it's still standing. And the people there have a mutual respect for one another. See, there's really only one unspoken rule in Vacuo. If you can survive here,
You can
then
stay
you're
here.
welcome
Oh,
here.
okay. That's a cool.
So there you have it. Vale, Mistral, Atlas, and Vacuo. You know, Oz would always say that the four kingdoms were a representation of what mankind is capable of when working together. Ever the optimist. We sure could use him now.
He's somewhere. It never showed him die, and a lot of times when they don't show them die, Ironwood, for example, when a ship went down, they usually aren't dead. But I'm just guessing. I mean, he could completely be dead. Hype is real for tomorrow. So if you had to ask me where I'd want to live, oh my god, dude, I can't stand these little characters. I'm gonna just do this, because I don't know which ones I'm gonna tab over to yet. I like Vacuo, to be honest. I have a feeling that's where Cortana is, because the last scene of that episode, she was around a bunch of crystals. They said there was a bunch of dust deposits, and then this might not even be a mystery. We might find out right away, but I have something to think about. And then if I remember right, it was like a desert kind of looking thing, like a cavern at least, like something. And it also sounds really nice. If you can survive here, you're welcome here. That's a good enough motto for me. So Vacuo's cool to me, and I think Mistral's pretty cool. I like its like dark side. I mean, okay, so like I wouldn't want to grow up here necessarily. Maybe grow up in like Atlas or Vale. I wouldn't want to be. Atlas is probably where I wouldn't want to be, just because they're all like so like just from seeing the characters, they're way too in line. I'd need to be like free. So you know, I'd like to grow up in like Vale most likely, but then I may move to either Vacuo or Mistral. You know, see rest of the world. I'd like to have some challenges and stuff, and you know, their world's pretty cool. Got to be fun exploring. I'll hit that with a like. I'm fully expecting Crow to get increasingly drunk throughout these World of Remnants until he eventually just starts screaming. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed these as much as I am. Love learning about the world. I don't know if there's any more of these World of Remnants for me to watch. This is the last one I tabbed up, and this one says go to Season 4, Episode 1. So I don't really think there are. But I'm going to keep going on the Chibi series and look at... I still got some comments to look through. There might be some more stuff to watch. But anyway, guys, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll be coming at you with another Chibi most likely today. Doses.